Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. Hopefully you can hear me because we've moved things around. My mic, I like to try to keep it out of shot usually when we're doing the scoop. But if it needs bringing closer to me, let me know because I'll do that. But yeah, I'm kind of shifting things around because I've got a quiz going tonight. So that's the gist of it. But you don't need to know about that. All you need to know is my name is Graham Day and I am joined by the men that people all around the world say, "Get the fuck out my way, dickhead, where you going?" No, they don't really say it. It's Baby!
Good morning! Well, it's afternoon. Shit!
Yeah.
Just gone afternoon.
God damn it. 9 minutes. God damn it. Yeah, it's a completely different time for the scoop. It's 9 minutes past 12 in the UK. Most people will know it as a 10 a.m. show, although we've been doing it at 2 p.m. because of the whole COVID-19 thing. Today we're mixing it up just because that is the way we roll. 12 noonish. We're starting the show today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Graham, and obviously this man is Bibby. We together are part of the Ice Cream team, and this, in true Ice Creamy fashion, is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video games podcast. Yeah, we say so ourselves. But if you want to agree, it's fine. Anyway, we give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking news stories from the world of video games. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions throughout the show. And if you're live on Twitch, you can do that by sharing them with us in the chat that's kind of going down this side of the screen here. And that's important that you do because we turn this into a video podcast that goes on YouTube a little bit later on in the day, and then an audio podcast that goes out on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So yeah, get involved in the chat, and your thoughts and impressions will be on all of those other on-demand podcast services too. They get to pause, fast forward, rewind on demand, but they don't get to get involved in the chat like you guys too. So if you want to chat with Bib, then make sure you're using your opportunity to do so right now in the chat. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi! I wasn't trying to talk about you as if you weren't here, because you clearly sat just there. I can see you. I can't really because I'm talking to a camera. This was pre-recorded, but you get what I'm doing, yeah? Okay. Anyway, so, Bib, you were streaming this morning?
Twice this morning, by the sounds of it. I streamed from about 10:30 to, again, about 2 o'clock this morning. playing ESO, came offline, went back on again at 8:30 this morning to do about an hour and a half again. Glenumbria is nearly saved, Graham. Very, very close. I can almost taste the end of that particular match. So it's we're getting there.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bibby can almost taste the end. That's
almost taste it.
Yeah, I didn't play any games last night or this morning. I actually, have you watched The Good Place on Netflix?
No.
It's a really easy watch. It's only about 20-minute long episodes. It's got Kristen Bell, Ted Danson, and a few others in it. Anyway, it's quite a nice, easy watch. But by the end of it, it was like extremely emotional. It was quite a good series to watch. There's only like 13 episodes in a season, 4 seasons. But yeah, good. That's what I did last night. Anyway, enough waffling about The Good Place because, that's save it for the Good Place podcast here on twitch.tv. I'm not joking. What we are going to do, though, is jump straight into the news. So, like I mentioned for those watching for the intro, we talk about the biggest and breaking news stories in the games industry. And, let me jump to the split screen so that we have Bigger Bib. There we go. Bigger Bib. Okay, bring the first news article up on screen, and as you can see, written by Cass Marshall, this article says Fallout 76, actually, it's for Polygon, it says Fallout 76 fans are ignoring review bombs, laying out the welcome mat. Welcome back to Appalachia, as mentioned by Cass Marshall. The article says Fallout 76 has arrived on Steam, and with it, the game brought out its newest expansion. Wastelanders brings factions of NPCs to Appalachian, making it less of a DayZ-like and more of an open-world mainline Fallout RPG. However, the game is still embroiled in the controversy from launch, and that reflects in Fallout 76 reviews on Steam. As Rock Paper Shotgun notes, the game has gone from mostly negative to mixed since it has launched. Players are taking the opportunity to relitigate some of the issues from Bethesda's original product. But if you jump into the game itself, there isn't a hint of that discontent. In my time in game since launch, I've noticed a healthy mix of both veterans and newbies. Many of the die-hard fans are choosing to smooth out the ride for their new comrades. I've seen some remarkable exchanges so far. Some players are setting up their camps in highly visible place outside the vault or near the wayward. I don't know what that is. There we go. A new in-game bar and quest hub, and spamming positive emotes at fresh vault dwellers who jog by. The most common thing I've seen happen to new players so far is a surprise supply drop. In Fallout 76, anyone can leave a paper bag full of their items for others to pick up. I found one player leaving a line of those little paper bags, each one stuffed with stim packs, weapons, and purified water outside the vault. When I approached the player, spamming the hello emote, she turned and fled into the woods, leaving her gifts behind for new players to hoover up. In Flatwoods, other players are doing more one-on-one time. I eavesdropped on one power-armoured titan of a character helping out his brand new buddy who was wearing tighty whities and trying to figure out how to craft his first weapons. This makes a lot of sense. I've always found Fallout 76 to have one of the best communities in gaming, which is a stark difference from the dialogue that surrounds the game in the zeitgeist. One user on the Fallout 76 subreddit noticed that the review bomb seems to have been concentrated around the game's launch, when a genuine review would still be premature. That person writes,
Goku.
It's just the Alexander bit at the beginning. So Son Goku writes, y'all could have at least booted at Wastelanders before trying to review bomb. It would have made it seem almost believable. Leave us in peace.
I've realised what it is. It's Alexander Son Goku.
Okay, there you go. Alexander's son. There you go. GG. Wastelanders is a big reward to the core fans who stuck around through thick and thin. Many of those fans have felt attacked, but it looks like the launch of the new expansion has inspired them to kill them with kindness. It's great seeing the spirit of the game, spirit of giving up on display. It's great seeing the spirit of giving. I thought giving up. Well, there we go. I'll start that again. It's great seeing the spirit of giving on display in Appalachia, even if those good Samaritans sometimes take off at a dead sprint into the nearby woods. Interesting, and also kind of weird at the same sort of time. I do feel for the Wastelanders fans out there, not the Wastelanders, the Fallout fans out there, because Fallout, as that article mentioned, has had one of the nicest, one of the best. Actually, the words is the best communities in gaming. That's what it says in the article, and it has. I mean, I've seen this in social media. I've seen this in person at many events and stuff around the world. Not only are Fallout fans diehards to the point of you'll get extreme cosplayers, you'll get just people that just want to just talk Fallout, and all the other stuff that you will get at any sort of like convention. Obviously, every game has diehards, but the amount of diehards versus the amount of negatives, it very, very much swings in the favour of the diehards. There's a lot of positivity in the Fallout community, which was a shame because obviously that changed massively with Fallout 76 being not what anybody wanted. So it's nice to see it. The positive people in the community that have just been attacked for ages to get an opportunity to stand proud and run into the woods.
But it's good that I like the fact now that they've got the game that they've always wanted. To a degree, there's probably still a lot of work that needs to be done, and it now has piqued my interest to finally pick up this game now. I love Fallout, the franchise. Maybe not the top-down versions of the game, the first two, but Fallout 3 was the first game that I actually played to get into this franchise. And I've absolutely loved it since. Again, New Vegas, I've always said, is one of my favourite games ever. So the fact that this now has an online element, so you can run raids with your friends and you can do missions and whatever. And sorry, my cat is chasing after what? I flagged it. Yeah, I've no idea. A fly or something. She's just getting stuck in the blinds and all sorts.
Buzz in, mate.
The fact that now people are able to have a proper Fallout experience and not have to rely on making their own content as they go along. They've got NPCs in the game to be able to give them missions, get proper experience points, get new weapons. Everything that you'd come to expect from a Fallout game is now available within it, and it's not just a shell of a franchise that has always been held in high regard. It's like I like the comparison that they mentioned at the beginning of DayZ, because I imagine that's what the world felt like originally. It was just a lot of enemies, no interaction with any kind of NPCs. You didn't have a direction to go. You was basically literally just surviving. So the fact now that we've got a proper Fallout experience in the game can only do good. And again, is a reason why I'm considering picking it up now.
Sorry, I'm just trying to kill. I keep getting like Dropbox notifications and things like that. Whilst talking then. Yeah, I think I think you're right. The fact that it's been called a DayZ alike, that shouldn't be anything you should ever say about a Fallout game. No Fallout game should ever be anywhere near DayZ. So it's understandable. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with DayZ, but there is if you want Fallout. If you want Fallout, it's a completely different concept. I mean, I probably am more likely to play DayZ than Fallout in terms of my preferences. But if I wanted Fallout, then I wouldn't want DayZ. It's a simple thing. So the fact that the game has evolved to the point that it's now, it's a Fallout game, and you're starting to see those lovely sort of community things. I mean, the article talked about people. Where was it? Leaving little paper bags before running off into the woods. Where was it? There we go. Supply drops. People leaving paper bags full of items, including stim packs, weapons, and purified water for people to pick up. How cool is that? That's such a nice thing to do. I'm assuming someone has gone through the effort of either foraging for, sourcing, or crafting those items, and they've gone through the grind of getting to that. And to help other people, they're just giving their free shit away. I mean, it's not a million miles away from the sort of conversations that you're hearing outside in the real world right now. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to leave a paper bag full of stims outside their vault. Yes, maybe not, but the direction of it, like helping others and leaving donations to benefit others and stuff like that. There's a lot of that going on right now, so it's quite nice to see that. But I think it could be quite easy to say, okay, well, is that just happening because it's a reflection of what's happening in the real world? Well, not really, because I remember when Fallout 76 first launched, and I could be completely saying this wrong because I've never played Fallout 76, but when it first launched, I remember hearing similar stories of people. I don't know. Fuck off, Dropbox. I don't know if you can, you can allow people into your vault or things like that, but people were helping people. Either they were having little sit-in sort of parties and inviting other people into their vaults, or they were helping them with items for them to make for their vaults. I can't remember what the phrase was, the way the wording was in terms of what it is technically. But the same sort of thing applied then, and it was the same sort of people, I'd imagine. It was a lot of people instantly took to the internet to be negative. Shock horror, people online were dicks. But a lot of people also took to say, actually, do you know what? This is the community, and that's what it is all about. Yes, the games make the community, but you can't have the community. You can't have the games without the community, not in the way that they are. And I think it's good to see that the Fallout 76 community have started to go against all of the review bombers, and it's good to see that we can pronounce one of their names now, Alexander Son Goku.
Well, yeah, it's a positive news for people who have put up with this game since, I think it was September or October last year this game came out. They've probably reached max level since, and the Wastelanders DLC will come and probably increase that level cap and give them a whole host of new things to be able to do as well. So it just gives them more incentive to be able to play, because I was kind of looking forward to Fallout 76 anyway, even though it was an online version of a predominantly and exclusively, shall we say, a single player game. You explore these games on your own, very much like you do with Elder Scrolls, Byron. Obviously, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76 is that just in the Fallout world. So the fact now that they've got a lot of things to be able to do, and you've got a traditional Fallout game in an online environment is brilliant if you want to be able to play with your friends and you're all massive fans of the franchise. You've got a best of both worlds now.
Yeah. That last paragraph that I absolutely mauled as I was going through it, let me go back over that again. Wastelanders is a big reward to the core fans who stuck around through thick and thin. Many of those fans have felt attacked but it looks like the launch of this new expansion has inspired them to kill him with kindness. It's great seeing the spirit of giving on display in Appalachia, even if these good Samaritans sometimes take off at a dead sprint into the nearby woods. I think, forgetting the joke bit at the end, it's great seeing the spirit of giving on display. I just wish we had that in more games. They've had a bit of a shit show to get there, but if they're the eggs that you have to break to get the omelette that you want at the end, I mean, if they have everything that is known from a Fallout game plus the online elements now, and if we're at 95% of where they want it to be, any game getting to 95% of what you want it to be is a wonderful, wonderful achievement. So yeah, I mean, we've not been shy of sticking the boot in to Bethesda for delays for Fallout not being great, and then the Wastelanders expansion being delayed, and then Private Worlds, and so many things we've stuck the boot in. But do you know what? Fair play to them, fair play. They fixed it. They've done what they said they were going to do. And yes, it took longer than they wanted, but they stood true to the word, so GG.
Absolutely.
GG. Nice bit of positivity. That's what we want. That's what we want. Now, when do we get the positive ending of the Blitzchung scenario? Oh wait, no, it's been too long, so they've just hoped everyone's forgot about it, motherfuckers. Yeah, I remember that was it. It was kind of like, was it like November, December time last year? Pretty much every week was Bethesda and Blizzard. It was the double B sort of scenario. Bethesda have done this, Blizzard have done this. I mean, Bethesda have fixed it now. We've got Doom is absolutely smashing it. Check out the Doom helmet just there, product placement, nice, GG. Hashtag spawn, hashtag Bethesda bought my opinion, hashtag no they didn't really, but they can do if they want. I'm not joking, they can give me money, but they're not buy my opinion. So yeah, Bethesda fixed it. Blizzard, it's your turn now. Sort it out, mate. But one other company that has started to sort things out though, for almost everybody on the internet, except for Bib, is Riot Games, yeah. So Riot nicely hooked me up with a drop of Valorant on Twitch, and then so imagine this is a trio. Like Bibby's kind of like the pin in the middle. So you've got Bibby, and then off to the side you've got Graham. Oh, he's got a Valorant key, and then so another one of Bibby's pins branching off is Connor. Yeah, he's got a Valorant key. So I'm Graham, obviously, you know me. Connor, aka BK Connor, who's been a host on this show quite a few times. Did you say ES then?
Yeah.
And then another branch off of Bibby's pin is Alpit, aka Kangaroo Dog TV. All of us have got codes, but the pin in the middle, Bib. How are you getting on there, Bib?
Well, currently I'm watching Sacriel not give me a key. So
God damn
one day Sacriel is going to drop me a key. I'll keep on going between. I'll have Sacriel on till like 5 or 6 o'clock, and then Timmy Tenders will come online, so I'll watch him until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And has Bibby got anything? Has he balls? Bibby balls all they call me at the moment.
It's alright, because all channels on Twitch now are enabled with Valorant drops, so do you know what?
Yeah.
Me and Alpi can stream it, and you can watch yours, and then maybe you can get a key from your own channel.
Oh my god, yes!
Imagine
that! That'd be amazing. I didn't even think about that.
And the reason we're waffling about Valorant is the next news article of the day, written by Game Central for Metro, says Valorant will have to turn off blood during esports tournaments, says Riot Games. So every esports tournament for Valorant will have to show sparks instead of blood when you hit someone, just like SNES Mortal Kombat. Riot Games Valorant is on course to be the next big thing in online shooters, but in order to be a worldwide hit, it has got to appeal to a lot of different people. There we go, got there eventually. A long list of community guidelines has been posted in a new blog detailing measures that esports organisers will have to follow, including making sure blood is switched off. Although it's not a realistic military shooter like Counter-Strike, Valorant still features guns and violence, but only enough to earn it a 16 age rating in the UK and a T for teen in the US. The blood you see in ordinary matches is very mild by video game standard, appearing for a moment to show injury and then disappearing, but Riot are insisting it be turned off when streaming any kind of esports competition. We want our esport to be accessible as possible, and that includes ensuring it is also as wide-reaching as possible. Esports director Waylon Magus Rosell told Kotaku, by turning off Blood, we allow more sponsors and distributors to join the ecosystem, ultimately creating more accessibility and stability for everyone. Leading up to the Valorant closed beta launch, we met with more than 100 esports organisations who, by and large, also echoed that sentiment. It's all strangely reminiscent of the home conversions of Mortal Kombat back in the 90s when the Mega Drive version had red blood, but Nintendo insisted that the SNES version be censored with green. Rather than the green blood, though, Valorant uses orange sparks of energy, a little like the impact in Tekken. The rest of the requirements are all obvious and reasonable, including watch out for hate speech in the chat and not charging spectators to watch. Oh, there's another paragraph down below. The strict guidelines are because Riot won't be organising tournaments itself at first and is leaving that to happen organically while the game builds up its fanbase worldwide, which is exactly how it handled things with the massively popular League of Legends. We want to let Valorant grow naturally. We're not looking to force anything too quickly without knowing what's best for esports fans, wrote Roselle in the blog. So far the approach seems to be working, and Valorant is already the most watched game on Twitch during April, ahead of League of Legends. Boom. Imagine that, a game coming out and allowing the esports to develop gradually rather than forcing it. If only taps my PUBG cat. Other games would have allowed to do that and work with their esports communities rather than trying to force it. Yeah, there's too many games that do that. To be fair, I know this is kind of a non-news article really. It's a case of censor things. Ta-da! There we go. Things for adults are for adults and things for kids are for kids. That's essentially what the article's saying. Graphic violence, and yeah, a blood splat some people might see as graphic, some might not. Some people will faint just seeing blood, some people will not. That's what it's all down to, individual perception of it. But that individual perception can't be monitored across the board, which is why ratings and censorship exist. So that is essentially this. Valorant intends to keep to ratings and censorship to increase not only viewers and exposure of their game, but also to increase the potential for inward investment, which then directly helps the teams and everyone involved in the game. So yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer, but it's I'm seeing things dropping in the chat. It's kind of a no-brainer, but yeah, it's exactly what you should be doing, rather than trying to do what PUBG have done with the PUBG leagues and trying to force, this is esports, everyone's playing PUBG and you're all going to play it like this. It's like, no, that's not what we want to play. That's what you're telling us to play, but that's not what we're playing in PUBG. So no, yeah. Anyway, I'm going on tangent. Let me jump into the chat. As Smurf says, PUBG flop. Tell me about it. And Enix says Riot is good at letting grassroots esports grow. I suppose they're all right. I mean, what really do they know? To be fair, apart from everything, it's only the biggest game ever. But yes, good afternoon, Smurf. Good afternoon, NX. Good afternoon, Ads. Who says? What does he say, babe?
He says hello.
There we go. But yes, Riot has to turn off blood in Valorant esports. Thoughts, babe?
I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? I don't think people are watching it for its gore. I think they're watching it for potentially high caliber gameplay, which is what you'd expect from a game like this, i.e. it's pretty much an Overwatch and CSGO clone. So yeah, you're looking for big hits, you're looking for good plays, you're not looking for, oh my god, so he's just shot someone who's got a bit of blood just popped out. The sparks is, do you know what I mean? It's the least of their problems if they want to make it as a good esport.
Right, exactly. And I don't even think, I mean, sparks is kind of irrelevant from the esport perspective. It's probably, the function works. You've killed someone. You're seeing sparks because you're hitting them. The sparks is more from the entertainment perspective, but that's not going to really matter because the most successful game of the last few years, arguably, has been Fortnite, and that doesn't have any sparks or blood. You just disappear and all your weapons land in some sort of like, is it like some sort of almost like a computer sort of thing that takes you away.
It's not like that Chinese knockoff of PUBG that you show me where they wave to you before they perish. Go away like Thor's click. There's that mobile game, I can't remember what it was called.
Do you mean Thanos' click?
Thanos' click, God, yeah, sorry.
I mean, click. Unless I've seen something else. God, what's Thor doing?
But yeah, it's what was that game called? Was it like Love and Peace or something like that?
Which one?
I remember you showing me it was like a PUBG clone, but it was on mobile.
It was like Fight for Peace or Game of Hope or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. When you killed them, they waved at the camera before, like going off into a million pieces.
Yeah, that was the. I want to say Korean, but it could have been Chinese. I'm not entirely sure. Somewhere from Asia, anyway. One of the, or maybe all of Asia. Anyway, the gist of it was, in PUBG, you shoot someone, loads of blood comes out, and they fall dead on the floor, and they leave like their crate full of their goods that you can then loot. Whereas this Game of Hope or Fight for Hope or whatever it was called, you shoot them, and rather than falling down dead, they just turn around, wave at you, and go, "I'm going now. Bye. Here's my stuff. Help yourself." It's just like, what? What? I mean, that for me. I mean, I see it as the same thing in terms of, yes, it's censorship. But that maybe not so much, and that's probably because in terms of ethnocentric. I mean, I judge everything based on my own ethnocentrism, what I'm used to from where I've grown up, what my influences are, and I think having that. Well, I mean, we're laughing about it because it's for us, it's odd. Someone waving and moving out, going, "Oh, that's it. I'm done now. I'm dead. You take my stuff." That's odd to us because it's like that's not what you're going to be doing in a shooter situation. Whereas someone with a different ethnocentricity might have said, actually, do you know what? The fact that we're having to kill each other to get their items, that's weird. Shouldn't we just be having a little bit of friendly sport and stuff? So I get that it's different, but yeah, for me, I'm not in it for. Well, I'm not in it for the blood either. I'm not in it for the weird sort of shit. I'm just in it for the, did I win? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Oh my god, Dropbox as well. Again, you're getting out of your Dropbox. Sorry, you're gone. Actually, no, I need it. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Apologies if you hit
the mindset of Graham.
No, yeah, I need it for something that I'm doing after the stream. So if you keep hearing them blah, that's at my end, not your end. Don't worry. If you're listening in the car, your car isn't getting updates from Dropbox. It's fine. It's fine. Smurf says, I watch Counter-Strike for the gore. Lots of blood equals win-win. When not looking for the 7-year-olds in that community. Iceman says, bit early with this today, aren't you? Well, someone didn't tune in yesterday, Iceman. How very dare you? Yeah, we said yesterday we could be starting it a little bit earlier today, and we have, yay! Enix says, same, thought it was 2 p.m. I'll move to that time. Yeah. No, actually, like Ad's Play says, the late, 10 a.m. is the true start time of the scoop. We've only been doing 2 p.m. whilst we've been in lockdown, but we've moved it to 12 noon for today. But yes, I mean, blood, no blood. I mean, if you want it, if you don't want it, that's fine. I completely understand it. But I think we can all agree that if you've got the option of having blood in a game and it being really, really well, received really, really well and making a lot of money, that's really good. But having no blood in it and changing it to a special effect and taking the world over, then I think that's kind of a no-brainer as well. Especially when the game, if people were to get upset, I mean, I can see it in something like Smurf saying they want the gore in CS. CS is that real-world sort of shooter. It's about getting the angle, getting the edge on your opponent, and getting your sniper shot off first or whatever. Whereas Valorant, it's okay. I'm a dude who's got sparks that I can throw around the corner to blind people. I'm assuming. I mean, whether he bleeds or not is kind of irrelevant. Yes, there's a big green wall of fire. So, yeah.
Is there blood in Overwatch? I can't remember.
I don't actually know.
I want to say no. But yeah.
Is there blood in Overwatch? There is blood at the game. says
That's a real opinion, that.
says forums.blizzard.com. Nice one. There is blood at the game. I'm guessing you can disable blood in Overwatch as well. But there we go. Anyway, I've had enough of this bloody news.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, swiftly moving on. PS4 firmware update 7.50 is causing some problems for sure, said Sherif Saed for VG247. This week's release of PS4 firmware 7.5 has seemingly not gone down well for some players. Judging by the patch notes for the PS4 firmware update 7.5, which went live yesterday, following a few weeks of beta testing, it seems to be a minor update, like the many others that we're used to. These usually come and go with little fanfare, but it seems that 7.5 made changes behind the scenes that are now causing issues for some players. Multiple reports on the PS4 subreddit describe a couple of problems that occurred after installing it. The issues appear to be the same for a number of players posting in these threads, which could point to a common problem. The biggest seems to be that the console fails to boot after taking the update. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Some got an infinite boot loop where their PS4 would start up, only to shut down again and repeat without allowing the user any input. Others can see that the console is turned on, but not transmitting any signal. Despite restarts, the screen remains black, even if the PS4 appears to be running. There's also a different problem, which seems to be related to the Blu-ray drive. Some players are getting error code SU-42118-6, which I completely agree with, yeah, especially on a Tuesday. Now, some players are getting that error code, which is not new nor specific to this update, but it prevents the console from installing it nonetheless. Judging by these reports, at least, it seems to be related to a faulty Blu-ray drive. The only problem is, of course, with so many PS4 owners going digital, many may not even realise there's something wrong with their drive to begin with, which is what's causing this confusion. There's definitely something going on with the Blu-ray in this update, as others have reported. Failure to read the disc or even eject it. This, yeah, I mean, give me the game back.
When I was streaming FIFA yesterday, that happened to me. It just ejected my disc when I was playing with the lads.
That says failure to read the disc or eject it.
Eject it. Not to eject it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's keeping hold of it. So this is particularly frustrating as many worldwide are in lockdowns and may not be able to send their console for repairs for a few weeks. Rage, absolute rage. For now, all you can really do is eject any discs inserted before updating. If it fails, try starting the PS4 in safe mode, which you can do by holding down the power button for 10 seconds and installing the safe mode version of 7.50 via USB. Ads has just said it ejected Bibbs' FIFA yesterday, lol.
Yeah, I was like just starting the first game and then boop, just ejected.
I would lose my shit at this.
It hasn't been quality tested at all, has it?
Like, some sort of beta testing is fine, but you don't beta test something that could essentially brick your PS4. Imagine it something that you're not going to be able to get it sent off for a few weeks. It could take a week or two to be fixed, and then a few weeks to come back to you. You're looking at a month and a half. That's pretty much the entirety of lockdown, hopefully, that's left. And then the PS5 comes out. Fuck!
What do I do if I want to watch the ice cream uploads but also want the Valorant drops? Well, funnily enough, mate, I'm co-hosting the Ice Cream Upload Scoop podcast whilst having Sacriel on another screen because I'm trying to farm this drop so bad. So I won't feel bad for you opening it up on another tab and just muting him, obviously, just to listen to us. It's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. AdsPlay says they're slowly making PS4s worse so people buy new gen. That is very much a tried and tested method with Apple. I'm sure they went to court for that, didn't they? Because you used to put bloatware on the phone, so it slowed the fucker down.
It wasn't even so much that they were tactful enough to put bloatware on the phone. They just actively killed your battery. It was like, oh, it's a battery preventative measure. So when your phone gets older, your battery doesn't work as well, and because we've got new technology and stuff, and your battery cells are degraded, your phone could basically go from 100 to 0%. Rather than it being 7 hours, it might do it in 4 hours. So we've decided to slow everything down so it uses less power, and not tell you that that's what we're doing. So that's why they got taken to court and got fucking fined and everything, because they were intentionally slowing phones down to save power but not telling you. So basically people were going, oh, my phone's slow as shit, and not having the option to go, no, use my power but give me a decent phone. So people just went out buying new phones and so on, and yeah, fuckers.
Well, my issue with stuff like that is that you can't change the battery in phones anymore. and that for me pisses me off more than anything. Because the last 3 phones I'd have been more than happy keeping them phones, but the fact that the battery dies at like 30% means that I'm not even getting like half a day's charge out of it. I had to charge it before I left for work, and then when I got into work, before I left to come back home to use the sat nav on my phone, because it'll be on like, I don't know, 40%. I knew it was going to die halfway, so I have to charge it up again. But there's no way of getting into the phones to change them now without ripping off the motherboard, the screen, Christ knows what else to be able to get inside it. If it was like the old school phones where you could just slide the back off and put a new battery in, I'd probably still have my HTC from like 6 years ago.
Welcome to another episode of Back in My Day.
back in my day.
No, I completely agree. It's shit. I had to do it. I had my phone. Essentially, the dude explained it to me that it was like my iPhone 5 or something. I don't know. I can't remember which one. Maybe a 6 or somewhere around there. And it was essentially split into 5 parts. The battery was in 5 cells. So that was like 0 to 20%, 20 to 40, 6 to 8 to kind of thing. Each part was 20% of the battery. So my battery was fine until it got down to like 20%. It maybe get to 19, possibly 18. On a rare occasion, I'd get to 17%, but then the phone would just turn straight off because that battery cell was dead. And rather than going, oh, well, we can just change that cell or just change the battery, it's like, yeah, you've got to take it into Apple and spend 90 quid to get them to take it in the back. And some guy just goes, battery out, battery in. £90, please. And it's like, fuck you. We're talking about let's actually talk about the PS4. Internally, it has to go through testing, says NX. I mean, it will have done. I mean, it mentions it in here, and I do believe, and I could be wrong on this, that PlayStation has like a community of beta testers as well. So you can sign up to the beta testing community, and they push those updates out to you. So not only will it have had alpha testing internally, they all go through that testing anyway, but then it will go out to the beta testers, and either they didn't test it for long enough, or they didn't have a big enough sample of beta testers, because everyone's clearly gone, yeah, mate, it's proper good, mate. Or no one's tested ejecting a disc or anything like that. So then they've rolled it out, and everyone's PS4s have just gone, brr, no. Brr. So yeah, it will have gone through testing, but yeah. Iceman says, I have no boot issues, and I had no issues with my disk drive when I used it last night. Mine is sat right there, and I didn't use it yesterday, so I don't think I've got a disc in, actually. I might go downstairs, get Resident Evil 2, put it in my PlayStation, turn it off, and then turn it on and do the update. You know, just because it sucks to be you, baby. It's mine now forever.
It is mine forever.
Halo 2 PC soon. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Blasphemy.
See, told you that nobody cares. Way banter. Are you playing that Games Pass, or are you purchasing it? Is it on Games Pass? It is on Xbox Game Pass, isn't it? Oh.
The Master Chief Collection is, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Games Pass PC says NX, yeah, I thought so. To be honest, only worth getting a Samsung or iPhone now. Yeah, I completely agree. Anyone that doesn't have a Samsung or an iPhone is a wet lettuce.
Shout out to all the Huawei boys.
Huawei. Huawei. You can pay to get the phone battery replaced, but yeah, still bad. Yeah. Google Pixel 2 Ultimate Battery. I mean 3. Are you sure?
He was that excited to type it out, isn't it?
It's clearly a good battery then, because you don't even need to think about the numbers. That's it. I mean, I have to think about my battery numbers all the time because I've got an iPhone. Google Pixel 2. Smurf doesn't even need to think about the numbers. Iceman says everything has the ability to run for a long time, but then why would people buy new stuff to replace it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the consumerism sort of side of it. There's a light bulb in the California fire station that's been going for 118 years. This feels like it's some sort of setup to me. Is this an actual fact?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
I mean, some guy thought about like, how could you keep the station illuminated for like close to 120 years, and then all of a sudden it hit him, light bulb. I'm sorry, I apologise. That's bad. That's all I had. Just let it go. iPhone 11 is crazy. It lasts me 2 to 3 days. Mine is actually pretty decent. I've got 10 10s Max or whatever. iPhone 10. The big one. iPhone 10. Have you've clearly never invested into the Apple ecosystem, because that's all it is. It's like buying an Xbox. I've got the Xbox One X1, X1, S1, X what TV, Xbox. So yeah, I've got the 10S Max or something like that, whatever it is. And it lasts a decent amount. I'd probably get a full day out of it easy. But yeah, if you go intensive, you don't. Ads Players says I can take my battery out on my Nokia 6210. Yeah, and if you throw it, you can take out a house as well. Hey! That's pretty much the model of my phone, to be fair. Is that what that was supposed to be?
Yes.
What's this link Iceman's dropping in the chat?
Oh god. Oh, will this be a documentary on the bulb?
This is, yeah. It's a 1 minute 34 inside edition on the light bulb. Do you know, I'm actually going to watch that after the show. That's
No.
I want to know what it is right now. But yes, if you have a PS4, well, two things. First of all, you can't replace the battery in a PS4. We've already established, because there isn't one. By the way, it's power back, but you know it's in there anyway. So your PS4, if you have the 7.5 firmware update already, and it's fine, job's good. And if you haven't, you're probably better off making sure you have no discs in the tray at the moment before doing the update. And even then, you do the update, you can get stuck in an infinite boot loop. And if that is the case, then there. Okay. Now there is a dedicated support Twitter account, which is at We've Got Babinho. Just send all sorts of expletives, nudes, whatever. Send them all at We've Got Babinho.
Yeah, and then sign up to my OnlyFans account, obviously.
Anyway, let's move on. We have one more news article today, flying through it today. That's what happens when it's a slow news week.
Slow news week.
I love it's proper good. Final bit of news for the day in this snow lose week is Destiny 2 is getting its own version of the Olympics. Written by Ethan Gach, what a name, for Kotaku UK. It says Destiny 2 is getting a new limited time event called Guardian Games next week. The event will have players to try to outcompete one another for the honour of having their Guardian class represented in the tower for the rest of the year. That is pretty badass. Anyway, the Guardian Games were teased in this season's roadmap but didn't have an exact start date until today. Here's what we know from Bungie's site. The event begins April 21st and ends May the 12th. You get daily challenges from Eva and Zavala, which you complete to earn points. The points you earn will then be added to a total for Warlocks, Titans or Hunters based on what class you're playing as. The class with the most points at the end of the event will have a permanent reminder added to that's in quote marks, added to the tower until the end of the year. Prizes will include daily reward packages, a Guardian Games Ghost Shell, and a new exotic machine gun called Heir Apparent. There's also a new set of Guardian Games themed class armour that will be bronze, silver or gold depending on which class is currently winning the competition, as well as a new set of Guardian armour. While the class items need to be worn while competing challenges in order to earn points, it's not clear yet whether the new armour will drop in-game or need to be purchased from Eververse. One big question that still remains is what the daily challenges will consist of. Hopefully they aren't just bounties 2.0. Before you worry that a class-based competition like this will leave Warlocks in the dust, Bungie has confirmed that the number of players will be taken into account, so Hunters don't have an overwhelming advantage simply because more people like to play as them. In this way, it sounds like it will work similarly to the game's past faction rallies. Unfortunately, the one thing Bungie doesn't seem to have taken into account is just how much cooler Titan Marks and Hunter Cloaks look than Warlock Bonds. Yeah. I've just scrolled up, I completely scrolled past that. While both of those classes will get ornate looking flowing robes of some kind, Warlocks are once again stuck sporting nondescript armbands. Hopefully the rest of the event is a bright spot in what's been an otherwise disappointing season so far.
I think that's cool. It's definitely something to grind towards. I can already see Nico Di Maria just ploughing more hours into this to be the guy at the top, the tippy top of the mountain.
Bleeding Monthly, thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciate it. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, it is. It's such a cool thing. Imagine knowing that every single game you play with your mates, or not with your mates, you just jump into some raids with randoms kind of thing, and then you walk past the wall, and it's like, yeah, that's me on the wall there, you know, just chilling out. That's my face on that. That's me there. That is badass. I like that.
It's definitely something. It's definitely something to grind towards as well. What is it called? The Guardian Games. That's such a cool name. It just adds a bit more flair to your daily grind, for instance, because people who are logging into Destiny are the hardcore people who will log in every single day to clear the dailies and then go carry on with the rest of the missions or the raids or whatever it may be. So this just adds a bit more of a flavour to the day that they were going to be spending on it. Just a bit more grinding.
Updating the discussing now. PC's just on a go slow. G8. There we go. Got there eventually. Destiny 2's Guardian Games. Yeah, I like games that give you this. I mean, obviously we've spoken about battle passes and season passes and things. I keep looking over this way because that's where my camera usually is, but I'm there now, so this is where I'm looking. I like the fact that obviously season passes and battle passes and things like that. Some people like, some people don't. But I like the fact that in a continued service game, you have something to grind towards. It's not just this is my top level that I'm gonna get to eventually. It's okay, this is something to do whilst it's a grind within a grind. And yeah, like you say, the fact that it's called the Guardian Games is a freaking badass name as well. So yeah, that helps.
Well, it's near on. Is it 2 weeks? No, 3 weeks. It's going to be on for. The event begins on April 21st and ends on May 12th. So you've got 3 weeks there during pretty much the entirety of lockdown so far. Because it has been extended for another 3 weeks, and this begins next week. So yeah, at least the next 3 weeks you'll be able to get in and try and stick your name on top of the tower for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, that's the bit that's pretty cool. Like every time you just scroll it past, and it just says like at Big Dick Swinging or whatever your username is.
Yeah.
Just seeing that sat there on the.
If your name is Big Dick Swinging, then you are going to try and grind to be able to put your name at the top of that.
Just get Richard Squeezer. That's what you want.
Yeah,
just stuck it.
Party pie.
Hey. Where did we get to? I'm scared to even put a disc in now, even though I've updated. RIP! Well, you're going to have to buy a PS5. Well played, Sony. They know what they're doing. Nice. I did so last night after the update to play Formula 1 2019. We never covered Formula 1 the next day. Whoopsie. Ads, thank you very much for the host very much.
In the PES thing?
Yeah, but I said we'd jump on it. We'd bring it up in the show the next day. But to be fair, Iceman got his own exclusive after-show scoop, so it's all good. It's all good. Latest season update was Doggers. I'm assuming we're talking about Destiny here.
I haven't played it this season.
I uninstalled this, took up most of my memory. Lol. Says Ads plays.
Yeah, it's like 130 gig.
Oh really?
Massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I think maybe in a drawdown there, the first Destiny, and I've mentioned this a few times. Played it a little bit, didn't have anyone to play with, and it's just a bit pants when you play on your own. So I gave up on it very early, and I've not played any of it since.
The second one is a lot more. It's a lot nicer to be able to grind on your own, because I played it for quite a while, until I moved on to Tom Clancy's The Division, which I haven't picked up in a while because I picked up the ESO again. So.
Bleeding Monthly says, "Did you hear about the rumours of potential Sega and Microsoft partnership?"
Bleeding Monthly.
Hmm. Oh, we've lost Bib. He appears to be on a go slow. Let me check my.
Yeah, there we go. I'm back.
It's back.
You get some breaking up big time. Then I thought, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'll just check and see if Steam was eating up the connection, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, Bleeding Month says, "Did you hear about the rumours of potential Sega and Microsoft partnership?" Enix says, "Will probably just be Persona or something coming to Xbox. Won't be a partnership. Already proven fake." To be fair, loads of Yakuza games and PS only franchises from Sega have come to Xbox the last few months. I didn't hear any of this. Where's this been happening? If you got some links, that'd be good to see. Yeah, I've not seen any of this sort of stuff. But yeah, jumping back to this at hand while you guys discuss, it was a 4chan leak. Have you got the links? Has he got the links? You got the links. 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 You got the links But yeah, back to Destiny. Let's jump back to this then. I want to look at these on screen because I want to pull these apart. Fucking Slack's shouting at me now. Shut up, all the things. Pause notifications. Which Slack channel was it? It was that one. Pause notifications for 1 hour. Get out of here. Okay, let's bring this back on screen. So this is where I need your expertise, Bib, since you've played some Destiny. There's 3 classes, and they are Titan, Hunter, and Warlocks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this image on screen then, well, these images on screen, I'm assuming, like, say that's Titan, that's Hunter, and that's Warlocks. So one of them's got like some super cool like Jedi robe with a hood up. One's got like some sort of Jedi robe with like a big hood down, and then one's just got like bracelet. Unlucky.
Yeah. Well, the Titans are. I'm not a professional at the game by any stretch of the imagination. I've only played as a Titan. So I'm the guy that I have, the Titan that I have, has a hood up. So that's got to be him with the number 5 held up in the air. So then I think the Warlock may be the one with the 9.9. If anyone in the chat can like give me a heads up on that.
I don't know what you're saying. The what? The number? What we're talking? Number 5.
Can you not see the picture at the top of the Kotaku?
Oh, there! Oh, I'm looking at the artwork at the bottom. Ah, okay, I get it. I get you now. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, so why was the latest update Doggers then? What did I miss on that one? As far as I was aware, and this is someone that doesn't play Destiny. Obviously, Destiny 2 went free to play, and at that point, it was really well. Everyone was loving it. What's changed or what hasn't changed since then? Why has it gone from being something that was widely received as being a positive thing to a negative thing? They barely added anything in the latest season. Okay. Okay, let's click on this link as well. Do you know what? Actually, I could have just asked Kotaku to give us a little bit more context, as they have done here. Destiny 2's latest season is off to a rough start, written once again by Ethan Gach, this time 11th of March. Do we have a summary? I spent around 7 hours with Season of the Worthy, and that's not nearly enough time to pass judgment on the changes and new content that will be reverberating throughout Destiny 2 over the next few months, but I can say that those 7 hours have been some of the most underwhelming I've spent getting to know a season in Destiny 2 in a long time. Season of the Worthy got underway yesterday, introducing yet another existential threat for players to combat. This time, instead of an ancient hive, worm god, or giant floating vex cyclops, it's a humongous... Oh, do you know what? That's word salad. I just wanted to know what the issue was. Get out of here! God. Anyway, let's check what the chat was saying then. So this 4chan leak, a guy mentioned Sega and Xbox announcing a partnership, or Microsoft purchasing Sega. Also in recent Xbox videos, Microsoft employees have been wearing Sega t-shirt. No one really noticed that till Sega. Okay, and then this link. There we go. So this link just been dropped in the chat by NXGG says, Rumour! Microsoft and Sega are planning a big announcement in June. Written by Jonathan Ammerman for Game Rant. It says that leaks point to the possibility of Microsoft and Sega preparing a joint announcement sometime in the near future in lieu of E3. Microsoft has been working diligently at enlarging its portfolio of first-party games by acquiring game studios from all over the world the past few years. It has continued the push with services such as Xbox Game Pass and xCloud, and this holiday will be launching a brand new console, the Xbox Series X. As Microsoft continues to gain momentum, a recent rumour points to the possibility of Xbox and Sega working together for a joint announcement sometime in the near future. An image has leaked online that points to a live event that may be steaming. Steaming? Yes, it is. It even says steaming. Streaming on Mixer, unless it goes very badly. Then yes, it will be steaming on Mixer. The service that is being streamed on more... The service that is being streamed on more than YouTube and Facebook Gaming combined. That actually reads like some sort of like press bit that someone's put there. An image is leaked online that points to a live event that may be streaming on Mixer, the service that is being streamed on more than YouTube and Facebook Gaming combined on June the 14th. Why would you put that in there? Is that...
So they could put a hyperlink in a bit.
Yeah, it's absolute travesty. Anyway, the image uses the Xbox Game Studios logo and the classic Sega one as well, asking fans to tune in for exclusive world premieres and for more information from our newest creators at the Xbox Game Studios. Apparently, a big reveal with Sega was planned for E3 2020 before the event was cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic, so this may be Plan B. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer. Time in Japan earlier this year. What? I'm guessing took time. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer took time in Japan earlier this year to discuss gaming's future and work with Japan's amazing talent. Perhaps a project with Sega was what he had in mind. Whether or not this supposed leaked image is true or not is yet to be determined, so take it with a grain of salt. However, if it is real, the list of possible games that the two powerhouses gaming companies could be working on is nearly endless. There are many Sega franchises that deserve to be brought back, and Xbox Game Studios and Sega could easily bring back fun and goofy games like Crazy Taxi, oh yeah boy, and Jet Grind Radio, but a next generation version of Knights, Shinobi, or even Golden Axe would equally be amazing. Yeah, count me in for those as well. The way the leaked image is set up, it makes it feel like it's more than a single game. Microsoft seems to be very much attempting to alter perceptions lately and doing so adequately. A recent rumour has pointed to Microsoft buying Metal Gear and Silent Hill from Konami. Has it? And with news like that breaking, it's safe to assume that the next generation race is going to be an interesting one. If these types of events are announced and the games that will follow, that should accept as well. Yeah, okay. I'm going to click on that link before while I'm off screen, just so I can see.
I would absolutely love a new Golden Axe. We're getting a brand new Street Fighter. Not Street Fighter, Streets of Rage. So having games like Streets of Rage and Golden Axe making a comeback would make my day. I mean, if they could make a new Crazy Taxi as well, that'd be even better.
Streets of Rage, then. Is that going to be a side scroller?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, I'm on board for that.
I mean, it looks great.
Just gonna blow my nose one second.
There we go. That was just for me.
Yeah, you enjoyed it though, didn't you? You enjoyed it. That journal needs to be sacked for such bad writing. Yes, let me check who it was written by.
Loads of words missing.
It was written by a Mr. J. Eastwood, I think.
What a shit.
Sorry. Oh, he's jumped in on himself anyway, so sounds like me. Yeah, you got there first. I'll let you have that one. Kill that link. That's gone. Okay. Do you know what? Let me update the discussing now so that people know what we're talking about. Xbox X Sega box X. I'm not really Xbox X Sega. Okay.
I mean, if they do manage to acquire Sega, that's a massive coup for them. Does that mean that any other game that they end up bringing out, if they was to bring out a brand new Sonic game like Sonic Mania, it'd just be Xbox exclusive, or is it just going to be a case of just porting all the old games? Very much like what I have. Here's one I made earlier.
They was doing press ups live on stream.
So are they just going to port all of these games over? Do you know what I mean? I mean that is just the Mega Drive collection, but you get what I'm saying. Any of the Mega Drive, any of the Sega franchise, they're just going to bring them games over to be able to buy on the Xbox marketplace. I don't know.
They're already over on BC.
Yeah, well, that's what that's what I thought on backwards compatible, because I did have Crazy Taxi on my 360 and Sonic Adventure, so I don't know. I don't know until we actually know what the hell's going on with this. If they do manage to get Sega, fair play, that's massive. But what that actually brings to the party, are Sega going to be making first party games again for them?
I mean, what does that do with? I mean, all of the partnered brands with Sega as well. So, SI, are we going to see some sort of Football Manager exclusives and things like that?
Football Manager has just come to Games Pass as well, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you can play it on Xbox Games Pass on PC.
So that's interesting then. I mean, they're already working with SI using Games Pass. There's people wearing Xbox shirts and stuff in video. In Xbox videos wearing Sega shirts. Do we think this is legit? Jordan said something about it had already been disproved or something like that. Is that the case?
Well, him just mentioning Persona makes me think that this isn't going to happen, considering it is a massive, massive, massive game for the PlayStation market, including the PlayStation Vita at one time. I mean, the Vita is still well looked after in Japan. JRPGs over there are their biggest genre of games, so if they're managing to get rid of the biggest franchise that they have on the PlayStation over there, I'd say it's still probably behind Final Fantasy, but Persona itself is absolutely massive. So if Xbox end up acquiring that, you can't really put money on how much it'll cost Sony if that Persona ended up going on to be an Xbox exclusive. There is no amount of money that would have to exchange hands for that because of how valuable it is to them.
Jordan says that image was a bad Photoshop. The rumour might be true. We don't know. There's already 2 events lined up for Xbox in May and June. I mean, depending on I've not really looked at it. I mean, if we're talking about the title image, Xbox Game Studios with Sega, I mean, that's a horrendous Photoshop. Someone's but this one down here could, in theory, be a bit more legit, but just a really, really low quality screen grab kind of thing.
It looks like a 340 pixel image being blown up to like 720. It looks well grainy.
I mean, obviously that's just it looks legit based on looking at it for 20 seconds. No doubt someone could jump in and go, actually that's not the Xbox Game Studios logo, it's actually this one now, and sort of details like that. But yeah,
the header image is shocking as well. You see all someone who hasn't got any kind of Photoshop
Sega
knowledge.
With
you
all
see
the
white shit around the outside.
Yeah. So that's what.
Someone's not found a high res of that, have they?
It's just like, how do we do it? Let's just stick 2 logos in. The fact that Sonic is over the G on the Sega, the A cuts off the edge of the screen, and the S is pretty much touching the Xbox Game Studios logo. I mean, there's all sorts of like space that you have to leave around logos for brand guidelines, and that ain't it. That ain't it, Chief. If it's true, it could mean an Alien Isolation 2 might be coming. Was Alien Isolation decent? Because I heard loads of good stuff about it at first, and then like not much after it. It's scary shit. John Edwards from PlayStation played it at EGX when it was Earl's Court, and he was telling me that it was terrifying. I don't know if he played it in VR. Was it a VR game? But yeah, I've not really heard anything on it since. So I just assumed if the fact that we've not had an Alien Isolation 2 by now just meant that it was a bit pants, but I've never actually played it, so I don't know. It's amazing, one of the best horror games. The AI for the Alien is revolutionary. Interesting. Well, you never know. If this happens, maybe we'll get an Alien Isolation 2 on Xbox. And I know you're not a big Xbox fan, Jordan, but it might be a reason for you to invest in the consoles. You know, Jordan's a big Xbox fan. It is. Anyway, I think we kind of wrapped things up quite nicely there. It was a pretty decent stream. I mean, thank you very much for jumping in with the additional articles. Was it Bleeding Monthly started the discussion, Jordan dropping the links, very much appreciated. Anyone else, if you do have that kind of input in a show, if we're missing something, obviously feel free to let us know. And I'm stealing Baby's thunder here with this, because that's usually what I thought to Baby, but
it's all right.
Completely okay. Ignore that I've said that, it's fine, he's not going to say it again in a minute anyway. But we are done for the day, we are done for the week, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for the scoop for this week. We will be back on Monday, probably 2 again, but like I said, the only way you can know for sure is to hit follow across our channels. If you follow us on Twitch, that's the easiest way to know when we go live, because you can get notified. You get the little notification pop up on your phone going, "Yay, great man, baby alive, tune in right now, yay!" While they take the piss out of Jordan and stuff. But thank you very much for letting us do that, Jordan. Very much appreciate it. But yes, also feel free to type in. Do you know, I'll do it for you right now. I mean, spoiler alert. All of our social medias are at Ice Cream Uploads, whatever. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Ice Cream Uploads. But the links are there in the chat. If you do want to get involved, feel free to check them out. Anything you want to add before we disappear, babe?
Yes. As you've, for those of you that are tuned in every single day this week, will know that the video game news has been lacking, shall we say. So if you do see anything tasty, like what Jordan and Bleeding Monthly have dropped into the chat today, then do feel free to contact myself on Twitter, which is at We've Got a Vino, at Graham_Day, and of course at Ice Cream Uploads. We'll take your thoughts and impressions and our thoughts and impressions and include them in the very next show, which is when, Graham?
Monday, probably 2 p.m. One thing Iceman says is assuming notifications work. That's a good point. One thing I do want to bring up before we disappear. Does anyone else get notified just about profiles on Twitch? Because I keep getting, only from Ice Cream Uploads as well. I don't know if that's because I've logged in and logged out on my phone, but I get notifications for loads of channels, so I can tell you that the Beard guys have just gone live playing PUBG on the Xbox. Connor Wolf is live playing FIFA 20. Break is live, and so many others down my phone. They're all live. But at 9 a.m. this morning, my phone just went, your profile on Twitch. It was like,
Yeah.
what? I know, it's my profile. So I keep getting a fecking your profile on Twitch thing. But yes, that's assuming the notifications work. You may get extra notifications that mean nothing. You may get notifications... You may not get any at all, but hopefully they do. Like I say, hitting follow across the social media and on Twitch, that's the best way to know. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a lubberlate week. The chances are Bibby will be back with some, silent streams. So. Yeah, he's a bit of a raver.
Yeah, well.
He's like...
If you like Oasis and listening to live music, then this is definitely the place for you if you want to watch some ESO as well.
And if you don't like Oasis and you like listening to real music, then feel free to stay on the channel as well, because other people do stream. It's not just Bibby as well. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. We are done. Have yourselves a lovely day. Enjoy the sun or what's left of it for this week. And you know what? As the emotes are telling you to do in the chat, stay frosty. You're not even there. You're over there.